Awesome. Hello everyone. Thank you very much. Jordan here with us today to take some times with us to talk about Satori. So you have today a project that you've been building since a couple months already. We did already a blog about it on our Streamr blog as well. But to go directly a little bit further, maybe you can introduce yourself and talk us a little bit more about your project Satori as well.
Okay. Well, I'm Jordan, and Satori was my passion project starting last year at about November. And so I've been working on it pretty consistently since then, and people have been starting to ask me questions. I've had to kind of answer a lot of questions on Discord and GitHub, and so it's a pretty interesting project, I think. Would you like to hear, its design, its structure?
Yeah, with pleasure. So people can understand a little bit more as well. What are the goals as well with Satori on the long run?
Oh, okay. Well, Satori is, it's actually a very simple idea. It's a very simple idea. Let's try to make a network with a network of computers that are all talking about the future. That's all it is. It comes with like a Satori node. You would download a node software, and it would connect up to all the other node software on computers worldwide. And they'd all start talking, and the only thing that they talk about is a prediction about the future of some kind of data stream, some kind of specific thing. So it's just a network of computers talking about the future. And I think the benefit of that is that once that system is up and running, we can kind of eavesdrop in to say, okay, well, what are the computers thinking? Because every one of these Satori nodes comes with an automated machine learning engine inside of it. So everything that it hears about from the network, it's listening to all the other nodes. Everything that it hears about, it takes into consideration when trying to predict its particular thing that it's assigned. And so it's able to leverage basically the predictions of all the other nodes. So anyway, that's the basic idea of the whole thing.
Awesome. It seems very easy when you say it like that. Of course, there's, I guess, a lot of work to be able to put this as well to work. And why did you decide actually to use Web3 and not, why couldn't you just be in the Web2 space today with this kind of project?
I don't think you could really build this project the way it should be built, just using old technology. So I don't know. You can't scale with this. You'd have to have an incentivization structure. What this basically does is it uses people's idle computing power, even just CPUs. Doesn't need GPUs or really powerful computing power, but you need a way to incentivize that. So you need kind of the most basic thing in Web3, which is like blockchain technology. So just that alone means you're in the Web3 space. So it kind of had to be built on Web3. Couldn't be built any other way.
I see. And what is the main reason to use actually the Streamr network on the long run as well? Was there other projects? Was there other networks that you could as well use? And maybe also tell us a little bit why Streamr network.
Satori really needed a way to distribute the information. And frankly, I didn't want to build it from the ground up. A peer-to-peer network that cannot be centralized and that cannot be censored. This is predictions about the future. If you could manipulate that data, it's a very big problem. So it can't be censored. It has to have a distributed network, a decentralized network, in order to share that information, broadcast it over to all the other nodes. So I needed a solution, and I found Streamr, and I said, well, this is exactly what I need. And I think Streamr, I think a lot of projects in the future are going to have the same need and the same goals, and we'll find Streamr or something like it so that they can just hit the ground running. Basically, that's what it does for Satori.
Awesome, cool. And how long was it ago that you found about Streamr?
I started looking because I was like, okay, I need a pub sub system, distributed pub sub. So I started looking and looking, probably like in December or something, and I found it pretty quickly. I was like, oh, this is it. So,
so we did a good job. So
that's
people can find us. That's a good sign. And what is the audience for this kind of project? So, and maybe you can tell us as well about what kind of projects can use Satori in the long run as well, or people as well.
Right. So I conceptualize that whole question as like, what are the use cases? And I think it comes down to a few different phases. And immediately the use cases, we have to scale the network because we actually have to have a lot of computers talking about the future. That's would just make it way more beneficial. So the very first use case is literally mining. Like, people will want to put their computing power towards Satori just to earn the token. They don't really care about what it's building or what it's making. And that will help with its being able to scale. But once it's at that level, you now have a whole network that can predict the future of anything. And you can essentially use that as labor. So you can pay it. You can pay the network to predict whatever you want predicted personally. So I actually break up the use case into basically two components. Kind of a public good, which is what we're working on right now, and then also a market platform that comes later. So the public good is basically saying we have a lot of data streams that we know are legit and very valuable information, price data, economic data, but all kinds of data, really. And so we have all this data, and we have more data than we have computing labor. So we're going to scale, and we're going to put all that computing labor to work on these data streams that we already have. And then anybody can listen in and hear about what the network is predicting. That's the public good. So since it's free and open, in order to earn the Satori token, you have to publish your prediction free and open. So I'm calling that the public good offering that Satori has, that everything's just widely available. Once that's up and running, then the market platform can come online, and you can actually say, well, I have a specific thing, a specific data stream, my business, my Fitbit health, whatever, your own specific data stream. I want the Satori network to predict that stream now. And so that's kind of a market platform, and that will come on later. But those are basically the main two use cases, I would say.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. And so you talked about later. So can you tell us a little bit more about the roadmap as well? Like at what stage are we today? What are the goals still for Q3 and Q4 2022, and maybe as well for the next years from here on?
So there's 3 phases of development, and we're in the first phase. We haven't even launched yet. So the first phase says, okay, let's get the public good offering up and running, and then start to scale it. So the second phase is the market platform that I talked about, and the third phase is actually going back to phase 1, everything built in phase 1, the public good offering, and saying this is distributed in many ways, but it's not fully decentralized. Let's fully decentralize it in phase 3. We can actually we can make the market platform decentralized from day 1. So that's nice. But there's a lot of complexity in in phase one with the public good offering, making sure you keep out bad actors and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to have a centralizing component until we can fix those problems in phase 3. So that's basically the idea. I think we'll be able to launch, and that is basically finish phase 1 and start to scale at the end of the year. So, yeah.
That's it's a very great vision. And so, can you tell us a little bit more about the team as well? Because I believe you're alone today. Is that correct?
That's mostly correct. I've had some other people kind of do like bounties and like do little things that I didn't want to have to do myself. And that's kind of interesting because I assumed this would be the case, that I'd be alone until I was able to get something that people could download and actually run. So I just assumed that. And that kind of defined, it actually helped me simplify the goals of development down to say, I'm not trying to boil the ocean. This Satori project's at the intersection of two very complicated ideas: distributed systems and machine learning or artificial intelligence. And so it is an incarnation of distributed intelligence. And so if you're going to be working on a project that is that complex and kind of grandiose or whatever, you have to have the simplest incarnation of the idea from the beginning. And so assuming that I would be working on this for a while all by myself, I needed to build the simplest version of the idea possible, and I think I designed that version appropriately.
Awesome, great job. Very happy to hear this. So, I also know that you have your notes of where done at this moment. Can you show us something on your screen as well? That will be really awesome. Cool.
Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it. Awesome.
So the node engine is mostly done. It's kind of in a prototypical state. The wallet is fully integrated. Well, not fully. You can't send. That's coming soon. And then this UI is mostly done. It's got some mock data at the moment. But I can show it to show you when somebody downloads the Satori node, this is what they'll see. So they'll see their wallet balance, they'll see their ranking, and they're making predictions, and those predictions have accuracy and timing. And so you're kind of in a competition with anybody else who's running a Satori node to be the best you can. So you'll have a rank, and that will determine how much Satori that you earn. You'll have kind of some data metrics if you care about them. They're pretty basic. But down here is probably the main important part. You'll have a list of the things that your Satori node is predicting. So you'll see a source for the stream that it's predicting, the stream name that it's predicting, and if there's multiple things in that stream, you'll see the target that you're trying to predict. You'll see the latest value, the latest real value that came onto this stream, and you'll see the prediction that that was triggered when that latest value came onto the stream. And you can kind of see that here. You'll see kind of a history, and then your next prediction is right there. So this is kind of the main idea of what you'll see when downloading a Satori node, I think.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing this. So, of course, you will not be able to answer this, but can you give us the prediction of the next price of the Bitcoin, of the market of cryptocurrencies?
That's the idea. I mean, Bitcoin's a very popular thing. So how many Satori nodes are predicting that will be determined by its popularity. So yes, I think as it'll be able to predict that as well as it can predict anything else.
That's great. We can't wait to see this. So there are still a couple of stages, of course, and we will be able to follow up with the project as best as possible. I'm very happy to be able to have you as well, maybe again in maybe 6 or 12 months from here, to be able to see the progress of Satori at that moment, and being able as well to see the progress of some people participating directly in the project. That's just going to be great, very useful, I guess, as well for the project. So I can't wait to see this.
Cool. Sounds good.
Awesome. Then, Jordan, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for presenting as well your projects. And I can't wait to see it very soon built more and more. And again, have a great evening. I will see you very soon.
Well, thank you.
Bye bye.